Record heat? Blowing dust? Wildfires? That doesn't sound like late February, but that's what we're going to be dealing with for the final days of this month. We're going to switch into a different weather pattern to start out March. Let's talk about it on this Monday edition of a Tex Weather Roundup. Good morning. It is Monday, the 26th of February, 2024. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Bully-in-Chief David Reimer. Thank you for helping us reach over 18,000 YouTube subscribers on the Texas Weather Center YouTube channel. A lot of y'all have hit that subscribe button, and we'd appreciate it. Welcome to the community. For our weather this week across the state, we're going to see some changes. Last week was kind of quiet. This week, not so much. The next few days, record warmth, heat, strong winds, blowing dust, wildfire danger. We're going to switch things up as we get later this week with a decent cold front coming in, knocking temperatures back down. Let's just get into it. Let's start with the wildfire outlook from the Texas A&M Forest Service. This will be today, Tuesday, and Wednesday. High to very high fire danger expected across the western half of Texas over the next 3 days, with a moderate to high threat across, let's just say, the eastern half of Texas. Yeah, there'll be some spots that have comparatively low danger, but given the fact that it's going to be warm, certainly won't be that difficult to get a grass fire started, and with some locations experiencing very dry conditions, humidity's well under 20% this afternoon, tomorrow afternoon, and winds at times gusting over 50 miles an hour, those grass fires could get moving. So please keep that in mind. Don't drag change. Don't throw your butts out the window. Don't do stupid things. That's about it. Don't do stupid things. Your local firefighters will appreciate you. In terms of the high-res rapid refresh over the next couple days, well, here we go. We've added wind arrows for fun. The darker the colors, the stronger the wind. It's going to be windy at times. Mostly west-southwest winds today. Notice we're going to shift west tomorrow behind a dry line, western half of Texas, and then we're going to see a cold front come in Tuesday night into Wednesday morning with increasing chances for precipitation across southwest Texas, the Big Country, the Concho Valley, the Edwards Plateau. It'll be light, but it will be precipitation nevertheless, and we're also going to see much cooler temperatures arrive with a northerly cold front. Fog this morning will burn off by 9-10 a.m. A little bit of fog by Tuesday morning, south central Texas, southeast Texas along the coast. Now, let's take a look at the cold front timing. This is the North American model. It does well with these cold fronts. Typically, you can see this one is going to pack a punch. We're going to see north winds gusting up to 45 miles an hour. We're going to see temperatures drop from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s down into the 20s. In the Panhandle, we're going to see 30s and 40s, northern half of Texas by Wednesday morning. 50s and 60s, southern half of Texas. So all things considered, this one will knock temperatures down 25 to 40 degrees. Not as bad when we're going to be in the 80s and 90s. Hint, we're going to be in the 80s and 90s this afternoon and tomorrow afternoon. So this will knock temperatures down. Places like West Texas, the Panhandle, 80s, they're going to be the 20s by Thursday morning. So more than a 30 to 40 degree temperature drop. And this northerly wind shift will also be noteworthy for any ongoing wildfire incidents, since that could result in the southern flank becoming the head if there are any hot spots that haven't been mopped up by the time the cold front arrives at your specific location. Temperatures over the next several days. Well, here's today. High temperatures, middle 90s. Western North Texas, Big Country, Concho Valley, Hill Country, Edwards Plateau, Southwest Texas, the Big Bend, into the Rio Grande Plains. 95 this afternoon in Mineral Wells. Yes, this is February, and yes, that will be a record high temperature. We're looking at 92 to 93 in the DFW Metroplex. I really wish we were talking about June, but this is late February. That's not good. Not good at all. And yeah, I don't want to think about what this summer could be. This doesn't necessarily directly correlate to how bad the summer could be, but going into La Nina typically means below average precip, above average temperatures, and the last 2 summers, who knows? But it probably isn't going to be pretty. Maybe it will be, but given the last 2 summers, and this year, I don't really find much reason to be optimistic. 80s, eastern half of Texas, 70s, 80s, panhandle, West Texas, far West Texas, the borderland. I wouldn't be shocked if someone manages to hit 100 degrees this afternoon. Same thing goes for tomorrow along the lower Rio Grande River into the Rio Grande Plains. 80s and 90s again tomorrow. North Texas, the Big Country, Texoma, the Concho Valley, the Hill Country, the Edwards Plateau, the Big Bend. South Texas, the Rio Grande Plains, the Rio Grande Valley. 80s eastern half of Texas, 70s panhandle West Texas, far West Texas. We could see winds gusting out of the west up to 60 miles an hour in some of those locations with blowing dust. Fire danger continuing. Now, as we get into Wednesday, that cold front is going to start pushing south. These are going to be high temperatures from 6 a.m. onward Central Time Wednesday morning. So there's a good idea of where the cold front might be at about 6 a.m. Wednesday. Highs only in the 40s and 50s, blustery north wind all day across the northern half of Texas. Temperatures across the southern half of Texas, place like San Antonio, Austin, Houston, your high temperatures probably in the morning to around noon, dropping into the 50s by afternoon hours. Deep South Texas, you're probably going to get the cold front around peak heating or a bit after, so you'll have another day of very warm conditions. As we get into Thursday, high temperatures across the state, much cooler compared to today and tomorrow with highs. Allergies, I gotta love them, with highs in the 50s and 60s, which is pleasant and certainly beats almost 100 degrees in late February. We're going to start warming back up as we get into Friday, 60s and 70s statewide, back to the 70s and 80s on Saturday. And for what it's worth, another storm system may arrive Sunday night. The potential for the potential for perhaps a few showers, maybe a thunderstorm or two in windy conditions on Sunday. Now, let's take a look at the global forecast system. This is just to kind of get a timeline for precipitation chances Wednesday, Thursday. You can see we're not talking widespread precipitation, but we may actually see some decent rain in the Big Bend, the Permian Basin, the Concho Valley, the Big Country on Wednesday. As we get into Thursday morning, those scattered showers shift to the eastern half of Texas, and that could continue into Thursday afternoon, maybe a thunderstorm or two, to perhaps up to a half-inch of rain in places like the Big Bend, the Permian Basin, the Trans-Pecos, maybe a quarter-inch of rain, the Concho Valley, the Big Country, North Texas. For what it's worth, there's about a 1 in 4 chance that if the cold front comes in a little quicker, we may get temperatures close enough to freezing in parts of the Panhandle and West Texas Wednesday evening into Thursday morning to mix some snow in. At this point, accumulations look quite unlikely, maybe a dusting if we overachieve a bit. We'll keep an eye on it, though, just in case this shifts a little bit north with the precipitation chances and the cold front's a little quicker and brings some cooler temperatures into those areas I just mentioned, since if that happened, there might be a little bit of snow. But at this point, not looking like a big deal. But snow is snow, and we like snow. I'm a snow weenie. Deal with it. And then, as you can see, precip chances pretty much move out as we get into Friday. Mostly dry on Saturday. Next chance for some isolated thunderstorm potential in Texoma, northeast Texas, with a cool front Sunday night into Monday. It's going to be windy as well. In terms of the longer range outlook from the Climate Prediction Center, this is for the first into the second week of March. At this point, you can see looking like we're going to be in the midst of a pattern change. Above average temperatures looking likely across the eastern half of the United States. We're kind of in that battle zone. And then the western third to western half of the United States looking cooler than average. With that, we're actually looking like it's going to get wet. So this week, beginning to see a shift into a wetter weather pattern again, where we're going to start dealing with these storm systems every 3, 4, 5 days, and those could have precipitation chances, but they could also involve strong winds, maybe some thunderstorm mischief, backside of a dry line, fire danger east of the dry line, stormy mischief, more humid air, warm weather. So we'll see how it goes, but we are definitely transitioning into more of an active springtime pattern, which means I'm going to need more goldfish. That's going to be it for your Monday edition of the Texas Weather Roundup. As always, you can get your local weather forecast in the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app, along with these daily Texas weather roundups and more. Y'all make it a great Monday. We'll talk to you again Tuesday morning. Have a good one. God bless.